Welcome to the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
I'm Tim.
I'm Mick.
I'm Dave.
I'm Brendan.
Details are at the bottom of the screen, so please make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms. YouTube, please subscribe to that because there's a lot of content that doesn't make it into the TV cut that you won't see on Channel 31. You will see it on YouTube only.
Yeah.
Probably some it's probably a good thing in some cases. We also have Patreon out there, so please do help us out via Patreon. We also have sponsor packs out there if you're inclined to help us out, because we've got one person working on the show full time now, so it'd be great if you could just help us get that through the line properly.
Guess who that would be?
Yeah, there's some clown that's got to do all the fucking editing. We also have
THRS Radio, Andrew, the best radio station in the world, featuring most of the freaks that are up here except this guy.
I refuse.
Yeah.
I'm not doing one either.
No. Oh, yeah.
He refuses, we refuse.
But the difference is that Jody pays for it.
And a big shout out to my daughter's teacher, Michael Wall.
You were going to say Mr., weren't you?
I was going to say Mr.
Mr. Michael Sweetwall.
Just Mr. Wall.
Mr. Wall.
You rock, mate.
So you can actually call him and say, "Is Mr. Wall there?"
No more Monty Python before filming for you.
Sorry.
I don't want to
All right. Now on to tonight's episode, or this week's content. We're off to a flyer in 2019, folks. We have reviews of the latest from Massive to an End. Fuck the Fitzroy Doom Scene, still the best band name ever.
Yeah.
Southeast Desert Metal and John Garcia's latest as well. We'll have a hot topic on Dee Snider versus Clive Palmer, which will be really interesting. We also have a clip to take us away with. So, Dave.
Right, we're playing the clip. Greystone Canyon.
Yeah.
And they're going to take us all. I can.
This week's hot topic is all about Clive Palmer versus Dee Snider and this back and forth that's been going on for quite some time as this goes to air. I think as this goes to air, it's the week that Dee's actually in town, so this will be really interesting. Who wants to go first? Mick? Was it? Yep.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I initially took interest in it. Now it's becoming a big joke. What I don't get is what makes you think you can just use an iconic song in any way and just go, yeah, I'm just going to use it for my own political campaign and not actually reimburse the artist or the people around it.
From a billionaire.
Or at least get a fucking permission. You know, I mean, if we were to do it flip side and steal a Labor Party slogan, which, you know, who would fucking do that?
Let's all steal Make Australia Great Again.
Well, there we go, yeah, you know, because that's something.
Still a nickel on it.
Yeah, well, original as they come, clearly.
Well, Australia's original, you know, replace one with it. So, I just think now it's becoming, you know, when he was starting to talk about revoking his visa, come here and, you know, who the hell are you, man? You know, like, you need to really chill out because 3 years ago you pulled all this shit, and where did you go? Nowhere.
Hospital, actually.
Because of the disappointment of not getting anywhere with it. This goes back, and we're all pretty much musicians, and this goes back to there's no respect
for musicians.
For musicians or music in general, that these people can think they just come and pick and choose and take whatever the fuck they want. Because
Art
it's
in
gonna
general,
work.
to be honest.
Yeah, art in general.
Well, yeah, you know, if you want to, and
be another hot topic later on.
And they can have their banters, you know, back and forth. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But that's the core problem here.
Yep.
They've stolen something, or he's stolen something, and used it for his own benefit. No, it doesn't work that way. You try and steal a clip from a movie and put it in your own video or something, you're going to be in shit for it, sued 1,000,000 times over. What's the difference here? There's no difference. But no, because he's a rock star and doesn't have a clue, or, you know...
Yeah, because Dee Snider has no...
No. Because, I mean, you know, he hasn't shut down things before just by his own word. I just think that's very disrespectful to any kind of artist, you know. In particular music, because that's what obviously it is. And, I just don't agree with it at all.
We haven't got a big enough bin for Clive Palmer, unfortunately.
We need a convoy of bins. So,
I'm going to need a bloody, what are they called?
Tip truck.
Aqueduct kind of things.
Yeah.
A mine of sorts.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be funny. A nickel mine?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
It went from amusing to silly when he challenged him for a sing-off on stage. It'd be half I want to see it and then just like, nah, fuck, it's stupid. And I don't really think the guy knows who he's dealing with. Someone has to like give him the video when Dee took down the PMRC.
Yeah.
Because that was
hilarious.
gold. And yeah, as Mick said, it's just basic copyright law. It's Dee's song, he wrote it, he recorded it, it's his, and it's blatant rip-off. So you can use it if you want, but just give the respect and the rights, pay the money.
He may have even said, cool, if you had just approached him.
I doubt it. I very much doubt it, but you never know.
You never know, right? If you had went about it the right way, he may have said, okay, cool, I'm coming down. He may have used it as his own little marketing thing or something that he could use
in
his
marketing
spoken shows.
In general, but...
for his spoken shows or whatever else. It could have been a win-win either way, but it's just the way you just gone about it. Fuck that, man. So.
Yeah, no, frankly, fuck Clive Palmer and the poor fucking horse he rode in on. Look,
the horse is dead, man.
If you didn't hate this fat fuck already, fuck you, because he's just giving you another reason, but you shouldn't have needed one, because he's an absolute piece of shit. And I've got no time for him. I don't care. I hope Dee Snider wins every argument, sues him fucking senseless, and he goes broke again, the rich fat fuck. That's my take on it.
Well done.
Yeah, this is unsurprising because this is Clive Palmer's entire career, which is stealing Australia's resources to make himself rich. Of course, he's going to do it to musicians. So, don't know why anybody's surprised. Anybody who votes for him is a fucking wanker.
Yeah.
That's it.
Tell us what you really
Please
think.
support us, though, on Patreon. Any
regardless
donations.
of political alignment.
Yeah.
No.
We will take it. Anything you got.
Well played.
Granted, if I was Clive Palmer, I don't care. I wouldn't care either. So
No, well, he's got that much money, it's insane, but he won't pay his own fucking workers.
No, that's right.
Clive Palmer is a cretin and a blight on Australian culture and Australian society. That is my personal stance on that. When it comes to the law, though, unfortunately, or fortunately in this case, it's very much on the side of Dee Snider.
Absolutely.
And I would actually like to see it held up in this case. Like, it's a shame that it's not a criminal offence, so there could be prosecutorial charges involved in this. But I would like to see the label actually follow through beyond the cease and desist to actually suing Clive Palmer and dragging this out through the courts, because he's not only done it to Dee Snider, he's done it to
Boy George
as well now.
Yeah.
So it's a case of he's just running roughshod over copyright law. And the most terrifying thing to me in all of that is that he's already shown a flagrant disregard for the law.
Yeah.
And this is someone who wants to be elected into Parliament.
Yeah. As a law and order candidate.
Yeah. So, for the same guy, mind you, that sends out an unsolicited text saying he's going to ban unsolicited texts.
That was gold. That was the coolest thing he's ever done.
This is the guy who's the meme law.
But it's an idea he stole off The Simpsons.
Yeah. I know, yeah.
Like,
more stealing.
Send $1 to Happy Dude. And then the second one was send $1 to Sorry Dude.
So it's ludicrous to say the least, but I just personally feel that just as a voting member of the Australian public, that it terrifies me that someone who wants to run roughshod over the law, as it stands today, is willing to stand for Parliament. It's terrifying. So no, do not vote for Clive Palmer, no matter what, because even if you agree with his policies, this guy needs to be held to account, because that's what the point of the law itself is. Yeah. So fuck Clive Palmer. Go Dee Snider, and I hope that when he comes here, he tears him a fucking new one, because, he could probably stand to lose a few kilos anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our thoughts on that, I guess. We're probably going to get flamed by some people out there for fat shaming, no doubt, but bring it on.
Yeah. There's a few fat people on here. So
we're okay. We're all carrying a few.
Speak for yourself, buddy.
That's why I said it.
Big fucking orange.
Anyway, over to you. Give us your thoughts. I want to see the comments on this one, so how about it? Massive with Rebuild Destroy, 11 tracks, 40 minutes, the third show from the Aussie hard rock band, released February 2019 via Off Your Rocker Recordings. Produced by Chris the Melko, recorded at his Monolith Studios as well as Colour Sound Studios. Mastered by George Donahue. So far, 2 singles have been released in Roses and Long Time Coming. This album comes with an almost entirely different line to the previous one, but does see the return of original lead guitarist Ben Laguda. This album also coincides with the band signing a new 5-year deal with Off Your Rocker Records.
Oh,
Dave.
Cool. Awesome. Didn't know about the 5-year deal.
Yeah.
Cool. New album, new lineup. My first time listening to it, I got a different vibe from this album from what I got from the first 2 albums. But then thinking back, the first time I heard Destination Anywhere, I got a different vibe from the first album. So it just shows the band's continued growth, and they're willing to try new things, which is awesome. there's enough on here to still be massive, but at the same time they're branching out into new areas, which is what you need to do with each new album if you want to keep your interest. Enough not to alienate your audience, but to keep things fresh, especially for yourself. There's a maturity to Brad's lyrics as well, and songwriting, in fact. Facing the Crowd, that was a bit of a shock the first time I heard that song, but fuck, it was a very cool song. It's actually one of my favourites on the album.
Bit more road scarred now.
Yeah, you can hear it, but he delivers it so well. The songs on here, they're going to be instant live favourites. It's going to be interesting to see how they stack up, and they're just as good as everything that's come before, but it's going to increase the live shows, I reckon. There's going to be a lot more material they can draw upon. Be interesting to see how they structure what songs from the set aren't played anymore from the previous albums and what songs are replaced, because they've got 3 albums now of awesome material. Yeah. They can pretty much play all 3 albums back to back, basically. But obviously no one wants to play for like 3 hours, unless you're Dream Theater.
I was about to say.
They've only got 3 songs in there.
And one was an edit.
Gotta cut it down. As the song said, man, it was a long time coming, but fuck, this has been worth the wait. Amazing band, amazing album, amazing growth. I gave it 10 out of 10.
Wow, cool.
Facing the Crowd, Wrecking Crew, Roses, Generation Riot, Long Time Coming, Bullet, and A Mile in My Shoes.
Cool.
So 7 out of 11 songs? You pretty much.
Yeah. I was just trying not to say all. I wanted to name some songs. It could have been anything.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. Which way are we going? We're going to go.
Oh, whoever wants to go.
Going up or going down?
Oh, okay, I'll go.
All right, go, Brendan.
Short and sweet. Look, I'm a huge, massive fan, and this one I also thought was a pretty big departure sonically, particularly from the last couple.
Yeah.
It could be the lineup changes, it could be the studio changes. I don't know exactly what it was, but for me, like the guitar sounded like they've really ramped up the distortion. Where on the last one with Brendan on guitar, they had a lot more of a bluesy sort of feel to it, so it was sort of a bit more ramped up.
Back on the distortion in some songs.
I found it up.
Back.
No, I found it more driving.
Yeah.
I found this is their heaviest release.
Yeah, I think so too.
Much more driven. Yeah,
still great riffy rock. So if you like Massive, you're not going to be disappointed. There's still the light and shade there. I think the slower songs are actually really strong. And Brad delivers them beautifully with the vocals. For me, this album doesn't quite reach the heights of the last one. Now, having said that, the last album was probably one of my favourite albums of the last 10 years. So, the bar was set pretty bloody high. This one didn't quite get there for me, but I still loved it. I gave it 8.5 out of 10. The highlights were Generation Riot, Long Time Coming, Over and Out, and A Mile in My Shoes. Cool.
It starts off with a bang with Generation Riot, and that got me straight back thinking Full Throttle once again, which to me is massive.
Well, it's funny that you got Ben back in the fold,
which leads into my next thing. I'm not sure if the fact that Ben's back in the band and the helping of the writing led them back to the first release. This is what I expect from the band. I must admit, I thought they lost their way on Destination. Somewhere.
Fair enough.
Somewhere?
Anywhere, wherever the fuck.
Somewhere. I keep getting them mixed up on
Destination, I think it's somewhere.
Anywhere. They ended up some fucking place.
They did
somewhere.
I thought that album was too bluesy driven, and I just thought they kind of lost their way a bit on that album. For me, probably half the album was okay. This one, different production. A lot more heavier and more in your face, which suits their style of writing and what type of band they are. I thought this is Brad's best vocal performance.
He could do.
He did some incredible things vocally on this album that I knew he had it in him because I'd heard it live, but now he's captured it on an album. And I think it's some of the touring, obviously, that's helped.
You can hear it.
Battle hardened.
He's just wailing now, and it sounds fucking great. The best part about it is when you change members in a band or you bring people back, is the chemistry going to be different? If you were to close your eyes and put on the other 2 albums and this one, the drummer they got, I don't know who he is, but he's a good fit for Jared.
Agreed.
Andrew Greentree.
Okay. Perfect fit. It doesn't change the dynamic of the band too much. That's the biggest thing. Members will come and go, but it's whether or not you get the right guy to fill the shoes, and I think they have. In the engine room sounds fantastic. If you're a fan of Massive already, you're not going to be disappointed with this album. When it drops, get it. If you haven't heard them before, if you do like your pub-driven, straight-in-your-face rock, you've got to get the album and also go back and get the rest of them, including the EP.
That's a good EP.
There's some good covers on there and stuff like that. They are a solid band, and you will not be disappointed if you do like your riff-driven rock. It's just no nonsense, straight up guitars, drums, and vocals, and the best part about it is I love the variety on the album too. I like you, I felt some of the ballads or the lesser songs, that the more pulled back songs are great. And for me, that's what separated it not being another carbon copy album again.
Yep.
That's my only gripe with the Lazies album. It just sounded too the same. It was really good, but yeah. So, anyways, Generation Riot, Roses, Facing the Crowd, The Wrecking Crew, 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an excellent record. For mine, this is my favourite release from Massive.
Cool.
I thought it sounded, in terms of songwriting, it was definitely more mature. The way songs transitioned from part to part and the way the songs transitioned, the track layout was virtually perfect. Everything that you wanted to hear came next. The use, Brad's vocals, he's learning what his voice can do and what he's actually capable of, and has come a long way. And the way he plays off the vocals with the guitars and with the drums and how everything kind of feeds off each other and motifs off each other is actually really cool. There's a lot of little subtle things going on in this record. It's not like the standard pub rock album. As has been mentioned, the production I'm actually a huge fan of. The guitars, they are, like, for me anyway, a little more driven. They've just been slapped across the face and punched up a bit, and sit right at the front of the record, and it actually helps. It moves a lot of air, it pushes the speaker really well. If you haven't heard it before, if you've been partial to Massive and kind of half, definitely check it out. It may turn you into a full-blown fan. Long time coming, and Roses for mine were the highlights, and 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. Well, it's pretty clear there's just genuine Aussie hard rock on this one. No substitutes. It picks up for me where the last releases has left off and kept the train rolling for mine. As I've said a couple of times, it's more scarred by the road, which fits for this. It's riff-driven, balls out, hits just the right spot for fans of the style, and no one here is saying anything otherwise so far. Performances are all great. Expect no less from seasoned musicians. Ben has come straight back home on the lead guitar on this one, with some fantastic solos, I thought. Andrew Greentree on drums and Brendan Kewish on bass have locked in on this, and they hold it together, and they haven't allowed the band to change its sound and style as a consequence, which has been good. Brad is a demon on the rhythm guitar, though, and his vocals are insane on this release. His best vocal yet ever. I think this 100%. Is his best vocal ever put down on anything he's done. Including the Coles ads.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Controversial.
That MasterCard, the way they sort of vibrato that, I don't know, it's quite good. 4-part harmony, it's fucking sexy.
Shit, here we go.
They've got to play that shit live.
3 hours of that for you, Dave. It's got
They'll
great
do it on
music.
style, they'll sign up.
Oh, God.
Come on.
Great space in the composition for this one. A lot of different tempos applied on these songs, not only across the album, but the way they switch things up mid-song as well. The backing vocals were used really well on this release too. They break things up and they just give a little space to things here and there. It's got just the right amount of time you need to breathe, and then it gets back into it again for you.
Yep.
Some fantastic hooks on this. The energy's fantastic as well. These songs, like you said, they'll be great in a live setting. And I think that they've already been well tested in that area over in Europe as opposed to here. I can't wait to see it live.
Yep.
Lyrics are done well. Brad isn't taking any prisoners on this release. Intense delivery matches the content of those lyrics as well. There's fun, but there's also some serious and intense moments on this one which make you, see that he's been through a bit since the last album cycle. Production-wise, I love the panning used on this. I like how it's got that live feel to it and the way things are allowed to ring out. Everything's captured really well, layered nicely. The way these songs build up is really well represented by the mix as well. The energy is just captured on this. It's really in your face sonically, which works well. There's plenty of depth in there as well. And some nice just Foley bits and pieces here and there. Like there's that pub background noise on one track and stuff like that. I think for mine, the compression's been hit a bit too hard. It's not a big thing, and I'm not sure if that's more to do with the production or the mastering side of things. So it just got just a little bit too much. It just feels a bit too crunched for mine. They could have just left a touch of headroom in there, but it's not a bad thing. It's just an observation from mine because I'm a prick on this anyway. We all know that. I love the album dynamics though. The track order, that was really well thought out. It's up tempo, but then the slow moments come in at the right time to break it up nicely. The Belters are fantastic songs, but they actually serve to highlight the softer moments even more, if that makes sense. The length is just right as well. If you're a fan of anything from Aerosmith to Electric Mary,
that's a good comparison.
This is the band to check out. This got some nice nods to the previous songs they've done in the past in there, but they're subtle, they're well done. I found those things to be like little Easter eggs for a long-time fan of the band. It's a grower. The more you spin this, the more you like it. One of those ones where you don't get sick of it, and each time you spin it, you'll find a song that'll fit your mood, whatever mood you're in at that time. This is what you expect from a band like this, but it also shows nice growth, and you can see why a label has signed them for 5 years, because there's so much more potential in this band, so I can't wait to see what they have in the future for these guys if they stay on the current path. This is a great way to start off 2019. 8.5 out of 10. I picked Bullet, The Wrecking Crew, Face in the Crowd, Long Time Coming, and Roses. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think.
Nice.
To an End, Redefined, 12 tracks, 49 minutes, debut album from the Melbourne metal band, released November 2018. Produced by Chris Nalk at Monolith Studios, that's 2 for 2 in this episode. 2 singles have been released in Fractured and Wasteland. This album features guest spots from Chris Arnott and Chris Clancy, and there's a few familiar faces making up this band overall. Tim?
For me, this was a bit of a mixed bag. It was sort of had that sort of alternative metal kind of vibe to it. Everything was there. The skeletons were all there. The songwriting was great. Everything fit. But once it came down to putting it on track, it just felt like everyone wanted to get their shit in. And there was a little too much going on for me. Like for mine, when you're playing this kind of style, the vocals really need to sit out the front and everything should support that. And for mine, it didn't really feel like that. It felt a little bit busy and a little bit rushed with a little bit too much going on in the background, particularly in the verses.
Okay.
The melodies were great, the choruses were great, everything that led into the bridge was great, but for mine, again, it just felt a little too busy going into that, and it kind of took away from that. But again, that's just me. I'm sure people will probably think differently. I gave it a 6 out of 10, which feels a little bit harsh, but really for mine this should have been an 8 or a 9, but it just kind of felt a little bit flat because of those little extra things that kind of made it difficult.
Cool. That's alright.
Alright, this for me is very much a now sounding band. And that's the only concern I've got with it, is because it's so now that it's going to get lost very quickly. There's nothing to bring it even into this year. Like, I've already heard these bands quite a few times and this type of sound and everything. It's almost like it's a year or so too late coming out. Look, it is catchy at times with some heavy grooves. If you like bands like Seven Dust, and a band that we reviewed recently was In the Red. That type of sort of, I don't even know what to call it. It's like heavy rock but very melodic.
That American alternative
modern metal,
which I don't mind it, but there's an influx of too many of these bands doing the same things, and I think this is just another one. I actually thought the album was called Fracture. So I'm glad we redefined that and we fixed it. So
we'll get to it.
Having said that, I mean, I do like bands like Seven Dust and In the Red. I end up buying In the Red CD and stuff like that. So I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Fracture, Wasteland, We Are Infinite, Out of My Hands, and I thought Digging the Grave, the cover was kind of cool. I didn't mind the way they did that, and it Collide. So I did like a lot of it. I just thought I've heard a lot of this lately. I think that's why I probably didn't give it a mark or too high.
Yep, fair enough.
Okay. Opens up with a nice melodic intro, and then there's some chunky guitar chords, and then the next song continues on kind of that same vein. Some very powerful vocals throughout this whole thing. Modern hard rock with lots of melody, gets heavier at times when it's needed to serve the songs though, and for dramatic effect. If you like your hard rock with lots of elements of metal, then you'll like this.
School of Hard Locks.
Something else.
Listen to those tongues. Go on.
Some nice chunky guitar riffs, verging into Pantera territory at times, which brings some great diversity to the songs. As I said, the album started off kind of hard rock, so it kind of blends from hard rock to
He has
metal.
been drunk lately. Have you been touching his Facebook posts?
Yes, I've seen copious.
Yes. You didn't know me about 5 years ago. My Facebook memories are fun. The more the album went on, the more I liked it. It's definitely one you can put on over and over and you'll get something more out of it each time. I'm really not much of a Faith No More fan, but I did like the cover of Digging the Grave. It was really well done. I'm making the habit of not to do any research on these bands that we review, so I know nothing going into this. I'd never heard of this band before. So I was very happy to find out this is a local band, and it's world-class music as far as I'm concerned. And the singer is El Gami from Moments Apart, so I was happy to hear some stuff from him again. It shows a lot more of what he can do with his voice, and he really nailed it on this release. I really like this album. I gave it 9 out of 10.
Wow.
From Grace into Demise, Wasteland, Hear No Evil, Left Untold, and Digging the Grave for my standouts.
Cool. This was a pretty cool but interesting listening experience for me. I found myself falling in and out of love as it went on.
This isn't really your thing, this sort of stuff.
It's
either,
not.
Really.
And it's weird that you're saying it's very now. It took me to sort of Papa Roach and that kind of thing.
I get why.
That's really where it landed for me a lot of the time. And that's in the parts where I wasn't as thrilled with it, I think, is when it was sort of going.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of that now sort of what's happening now sort of thing, and has been for the last 5 or so years, like at least.
But I found it would go from a part that would sort of shit me, that would get a bit that middle of the road, and then it would lift a gear and just go ape shit, and I'd be like, okay, I'm back in.
Yeah.
So that kept happening to me all the way through the listen, so it was really sort of interesting. I think the bigger moments can rival, even Stone Sour and Butterfly Effect and these guys, when they really all land on it. I reckon they hit it pretty well, but I can understand what you were saying, that parts of it were too busy as well. There were times where it sort of felt like there was a bit of a racket going on. But all in all, it's a great sounding album. I think the guitar tones are really nice and tasty. The drum sounds really crisp. I think the vocals come together really nicely, and some of the backups are really clever. I like that as well. So all in all, good solid album. I give it 8 out of 10. The highlights were Fracture, Hear No Evil, Wasteland, and Open Season.
We agree on something.
We do.
That's a first. For mine, if you like Stone Sour or Seven Dust, I think that's your entry point for a band like this. It's got heavy riffs, big melodies, some pretty cool hooks in there. This band is really tight and they chug along nicely overall. This isn't about pace. They use the space in the songs well. I know that you guys, I get what you're saying about the busyness of it, but I liked the tempos and the rhythms that they employed in those moments. So while I get that people can think it's busy, for me it was actually kind of like, okay, I enjoyed that part because it kept it different things to listen to at different times you went through it, kind of thing for me. It's got a bit of weight in this, which is where the heaviness is. It's not about just going balls to the wall heaviness. It's got the emotive and the sonic weight to it. These guys can play, that's for sure. This gets more technical than you'd expect. And it hits that side of metal pretty well in the breakdown, so I thought they were done well, which maybe where the people will jump in and out on those breakdown moments. It's big, powerful stuff. All the lyrics are really well done. It's well composed. I thought the energy was good on this release. It's got groove, swing, swagger for mine, and I loved some of the riffs on this. I thought they were fantastic. Themelko was the right producer for this band. He was the one that he captured them and presented them really well. It really rides that edge of the loudness versus compression kind of thing, and he nailed it on that one. Not a lot of headroom, and that suits that style really well. For mine, which is a taste thing, not an overall critique, I like a little bit more space in there, just allow things to breathe a bit more, because I don't want it to fall victim of the loudness war, because what happens on the next record, I think there wasn't the next one to be louder and all sorts of stuff, and you're not leaving a lot of room to play with. And I would have liked a little more top end in the mix overall, just to give it some more life, some more breath in the... Because it is you listen to this, in my listening, or I listen to this after listening to Massive, and Massive has a very different mix to this, which is actually a credit to Themelko and the work he does in the same studio. Yeah. But it's the difference of the tonal range on the Massive record, I would have liked to have heard that applied to what was brought out on this one. I thought the songs though were well crafted. The rhythm is fantastic. I love the timing and how the vocals and lyrics fit in with the rhythm aspect of the band. I thought the track order was good as well. It doesn't get too soft or too punishing at any point. Good use of light and shade to keep you locked in on listen. And for me, it was more surprising the deeper I got into it. Well crafted. The cover of Digging the Grave from Faith No More was well done. Good touch on that. I thought this is a good up-tempo release with more than enough diversity to keep coming back for more. I'd like to see this live. I think it'd be powerful even if they get close to this in the live environment. It'd be a great live show. The soft closer in Collide was a really nice touch as well. Shows there's more doors to go through with this band in the future as they go along. 8.5 out of 10 from me. Fracture, Hear No Evil, Left Untold, Open Season, and Collide were my standouts. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think.
Hi, and welcome to the extended gig guide for this week. I'm Jodie.
I'm Nikki.
Kicking it off on Saturday, February the 9th. THRS will be at Whole Lot of Love again. This time it is Anthrax versus Slayer.
Versus Dirty on the floor.
Nikki on the door this time. More information can be found online, but we are happy to announce that we will have Kill Death Ratio joining us for the night.
That is a win and a ripper. Also on the same night, Echo del Tusca are launching their EP Words to Live By at the Bendigo Hotel with support from the Dead Amigos and Honeybone.
Also, Ailstorm at the Croxton Band Room. This show has sold out, and the supports are Triple Kill and Rum Ahoy.
Ahoy there, me hearties! Good on you, Triple Kill boys. Very happy for you. And Aranora are playing a one-off 10th anniversary show, their first in 7 years, at the Workers Club. They will be supported by Sentia, who are launching their new single Faceless, Cirrus Crown, who are playing their debut show, and Geo. That's going to rock. See what I did there?
Geo, rock. It's so good. Friday, February the 15th, Faster Pussycat at the Prince Band Room with Mercy Kills as support.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm happy for the Mercy Kills. That's wicked. Also that night, we have the Vendettas, Siltman and Evil Twin. Haha, that's not us. Other Evil Twins.
The other Evil Twins.
The other Evil Twins playing at Bombay Rock.
On Saturday, February the 16th, Tim's birthday bash.
Woo-hoo!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Tim!
There will be Arcane Saints, Warbirds, Lace and Whiskey, as well as an acoustic set from Eat the Damn Orange at the Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar.
And Nikki and Jodie will be on the floor at that one. No door work for us. No
way in hell.
Also that night, Nickelback will be at Rod Laver Arena for anyone who's not going to Tim's birthday bash. The Melbourne leg of their Feed the Machine tour with support from Bad Wolves.
Oh! For those in Queensland, there is also Team Utopia. Nowhere else, Black Whiskey and Punctilious. My bad. And Tokyo Beef playing at the Thirsty Chiefs Brewing Company.
Keep it beefy, boys. You want to see the Tokyo Beef boys. They're awesome. Thursday, February 21st, Earthless with support from CD Jesus play at Max Watts on the Melbourne leg of their Australian tour.
And on Friday, February the 22nd, Watain at Max Watts on the Melbourne leg of their tour.
What time is it? Watain time. Yeah, it is.
What time?
What time is it? Saturday. I know, right? That's exactly where my head goes. Saturday, February 23rd, Electric Mary launched their new album Mother at the Mimo Music Hall, and the supports are to be announced.
Yet to be announced.
Maybe it's the other Evil Twins. Rusty, I can't sing, but you know, I'd do it for you.
Also, Utah, get me too, returns to Whole Lot of Love. This is a 2-piece band festival and it returns for its second year. Free entry with lineups to be announced soon.
No cash money, free entry. Get me there. Get me 2, get me 3 or 4.
She'll be on the floor.
Damn straight. And if that's not enough, we have got, are you ready for this? White Devil Detroit, Cults of Vice.
Oh my gosh.
Vicious Addiction and the Chevaliers at the Bendigo Hotel. Cults of Vice. All the way from Sydney town. You don't want to miss that one.
A little bit happy, little Nikki.
Can't work out who's squirting more, you or Dave.
It'll be a squirt off between me and Dave, and
what
Jordan might need a raincoat. Yeah.
I've got a lot of garlic bags here.
Oh, I'm excited.
On Sunday, February the 24th, Rockfest 2019, War of the Surf and Rock Guitars at the Fort in Adelaide. More than 10 bands are playing at this event, including Diva Demolition, She-Wolf, Darcy Fox, Atomic Riot, Electric Mary on their Mother tour.
Yee freaking hard. That's going to be fun. Also, Red Hound will take the stage at Whole Lot of Love with more information on that one to come.
Awesome. On Saturday, March the 2nd, Forge March edition with sets from Earth Riot, Primitive, Descent and Atomic Death Squad with DJs and giveaways at the Evelyn Hotel.
Oh, yeah. Also, Forklift Assassin CD launch at Whole Lot of Love with supports from Once We're Lost, Pocket Elvis and Moonshifter. Rockin'.
Fantastic. Saturday, March the 9th, Winter Moon and Whoopee Cat. Double launch with support from the Dead Lips and Dark Temple at the Spollard Mullock.
Oh, Whoopee Cat. Oh, Oh, yeah. Monday, March 11. Do not be the only person in the history of this city to not be at Download Festival Melbourne at the Flemington Racecourse. And Andrew, did I hear Alien Weaponry are also on that lineup?
Yes, they are.
Just another reason.
Well, a few of the guys, they're purely going just for that.
Yep.
Crazy. Hell yeah.
Friday, March the 15th, Nick Barker, Happy Man 25th anniversary show. Holy shit! At the sorry, Nick, didn't mean to offend, but 25 years, damn! At the Spollard Mallard with support from Raised by Eagles.
It's all right, George. You don't look a day over 60. Thursday, March 21st, Max and Eagle Cavalera. 517 Russell and losing return beneath the rise tour, and we're the same age, so you know.
On that note, Saturday, March the 23rd, Sisters Doll single launch at the Central Club Hotel. More info to come.
Friday, March 29th, if I live that long, King of the North Grindhouse Creek and a gazillion angry Mexicans are on at the Evelyn.
Gazillion angry Mexican.
Gazillion angry devil horns.
Oh, things have just gone pear-shaped.
There's a surprise.
Okay, Saturday, the 13th of April. Save the date.
Woohoo! Save it!
The Melbourne Heavy 10, as put together by Jimmy, is coming to Stay Gold. More information coming soon.
May have heard a little something about that, and I think it's going to be something awesome. Go JVZ. Saturday, April 27th, Seven Dust at Forum Melbourne as part of their All I See Is War tour. Supports to be announced.
On Tuesday, May the 14th, I can't believe we're actually almost back to normal now.
Almost.
Advantasia at the Forum in Melbourne.
Don't get too excited because I've already forgotten how to pronounce this. Saturday, May the 18th. Elvati? Elvati. So sorry, I'm not that language. Elvati played the Greystone Band Room, I'm ignorant, on the Melbourne leg of their Australian tour with supports to be announced. Let's keep going, and no one noticed it.
Also, Hellfire and Hairspray Heavy Rock Festival at the Bendigo Hotel with sets from 7 bands including Dangerous Curves, Snakebite, Whiskey and Diamond Oh, fucking gee.
I think she's been on the Snakebite Whiskey.
Diamond Box.
Oh, my girl, I love you. Saturday, June the 1st, there's Legions of Steel 2019 edition at the Croxton Band Room. This year we have 11 bands headlined by Stalker from Unzud. As always, lineups and events are subject to change. As are the hosts of this segment.
Keep up to date with those that interest you via Facebook. Or hit us up if you've got something you want us to plug. PSA, special shout out to Rod. From Tasmania, you rock star. Saw me stranded at Hobart Airport with no durries. Recognised me and hooked me up. You are a champion, sir, and you have 2 very special girls in your clan of, I think, 5 girls and 1 boy, but I know 2 of those girls are particularly special. You're awesome. You're a champion. Thanks for looking after my girl. Again. Nikki out. Catch you next week. Bye. You fucking crap. It's like, don't.
Fuck the Fitzroy Doom Scene. The future looks clear. 7 tracks, 45 minutes, the second studio album from the Melbourne-based heavy rock to stoner rock band, released October 2018 by Inverted Records. I'm really not sure who produced this one. They have used the hashtag Bomb Shelter Studio, so that might be where they got this work done. I'm not sure, but so far it looks as though no promo tracks have been released either. This has really slipped under the radar, and which is surprising. I'd like to have had this promoted more. What I can tell you though is that there's been 3 years in the making. Brendan.
Right. These guys have been on the scene for a long time, and I sort of steered clear for a long time because of the band name, which is stupid because I think it's one of the coolest band names I've ever seen. But I think because of the name, I didn't know what to expect from the band. Now I've seen them live a few times. I think I can say pretty confidently, if they're not the best live band in Melbourne, they're certainly in the fucking
well and truly up there, yeah.
They are sensational. Such a wonderfully sludgy blues sound without sounding messy.
Yeah.
You know, they keep it together. They're just really, really good musicians, and it's just performed so well. And on stage, I can tell you there is not a weak link in this band.
Nope.
And it really comes across in the studio too, which was really, really nice. I love the multiple vocalists. I think they do that so fucking well. Great guitar work and a great sound. The drums and bass throughout are just relentless and pounding. I love it. If you like your heavy blues-driven rock, it doesn't get much better. Really well performed, really well written, and the whole thing just sounds huge. I love it. Don't be put off by the name. Check it out. They are sensational. I gave it 9 out of 10. Nice. The highlights were The Future Looks Clear, Lost Your Mind, and Resurrection.
Cool.
This delivered everything I would expect from the Fitzroy Doom Scene, and then some. They are masters of the fuzz tone, sludgy riff, dirty, dark rock, and they have great use of melody. Great song structure within the songs. It takes you to different highs and lows throughout. It's seamless transitions from one part to the other, and these songs are so hypnotic, man. It's just late night listening or like going out and seeing them live. They handle the epic tracks like Rain, Bad Moon, and Resurrection perfectly, and these songs come to like the 10-minute mark, which I love long songs, obviously. With so much change and different sections within these songs, they're almost like concept albums onto themselves. These songs, but more like concept pieces or whatever. A lot of bands are doing the fuzz tone, garage rock thing, but this would be some of the best use of swing and groove I've heard within the genre. It has been way too long since I've seen this band live. The last time I saw them was Rock the Bay at the ESPY before they closed the ESPY down.
Wow, way back.
Yeah.
1876.
Oh, it was a good year back then. Fuck. If you haven't seen them live, you really gotta check them out. They're fucking amazing. 8 out of 10. Rain, Winter, The Future Looks Clear, and Lost Your Mind.
Good. I'm a little bit on the fence with this one.
Okay.
Again, I had only heard this band by name.
Yep.
I hadn't heard anything.
The last album is fantastic.
And I guess for me the name doesn't suit the music that they do.
No, it doesn't.
And I was expecting something a lot more harsh and brutal, and I just thought some death metal sort of thing or whatever. And when I'd heard them, like, okay. You know, it's like
it throws you.
Okay,
it does. I was expecting first time I saw him either.
I was mindfucked for about a good 8 minutes.
With the name, song came on.
One of the things is it has a very old school production, which I'm not used to hearing these days. You know, and it wasn't necessarily the worst thing, but I don't know if I would like to hear albums like that anymore. Okay. Had a great bottom end on the album though. Fuck, that just came through beautifully. You know, like that was just really warm, but it was enough there just to really round out the album. If you do like, and you guys already touched on it, but that stoner rock sort of vibe, you'll definitely love this. Yeah. For me, it was too disjointed. I thought the long songs, they didn't really engage me. There were some good parts, but then it really lost me in some other areas. For example, Rain. That outro was fantastic, you know, when they just sort of that musical beat for about 2 or 3 minutes is fucking great. But then you get a song like Blood Moon. I love the intro, and then when it kicked in, it lost me. I couldn't get the correlation too. I do respect what they're doing though, because for me, that's the most original type sounding band that I've heard in a long time. I couldn't categorise and go, if you like this, you should listen to this.
This
they do their own thing. They do their own, and I think they do it really well for what it is. I necessarily didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. 7 out of 10. The Future Looks Clear. Again, Rain and Blood Moon minus those little parts, and that's just me being nitpicky, and Silence I thought were good songs, but again, I'm on the fence. I don't know if I'll go back to it, but then again, it's not my thing. You know, but it was good to hear it anyway. So.
Yeah, I love the way these guys write songs. It's like Corrosion of Conformity if they were swampier. That's the only way I can describe it.
More seaweed.
Yeah, like it's got some gators. Yeah, it's got the alligators swamping the bayou kind of thing happening. It's great. Their use of melodies are great. The use of harmonies across the album. The tones are fantastic. And a lot of what I love about this band is Alejandro's drums. The way he just sits so incredibly far behind the beat that they almost feel like they're about to fall apart at any moment in time, but they don't. And that's part of the uniqueness of this band that makes it fantastic. Don't really need to say much more. These guys have covered it. These guys are great. Check them out live if you haven't, because it's really a
different experience.
It's a different experience. You don't know the name and the band on record and the band live are completely different things. So I'm looking forward to checking these guys out, playing some new songs. The Future Looks Clear was my highlight, 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. I've been waiting for this one for a long time. I had them into the old studio for an interview when they did the first album cycle, and I loved that album. I think it made my top 10s for that year as well. I know the artwork did. So I've been waiting for this one. I love the last one. If you've never seen this band live, it's been covered off. Unfuck that as fast as you can, because they are amazing. Right from the start, you know this is going to be different from the first album, but it flows on so very well. Amazing performances from amazing musicians, expect no less. The fact all four members handle lead vocals at different times is amazing. But this time around, they've added different flavours to their sound. There's things like didgeridoo in here, blues harmonica, brass instruments, there's female vocals. All this sort of stuff, while they use sparingly, they really do flesh out the sound and the scope of what this band will accomplish with their writing. It's all very well done. These guys have an amazing knack for using space and rhythm to their advantage. They write songs so well, and this album is a step up on the last one in that regard. All the elements within the band get to shine their own way, but nothing ever takes the spotlight completely away from the rest of the members. And how they've done that with four effectively lead vocalists and gun musicians is beyond me. It's riveting stuff. Great melodies, great harmonies. The layering and the composition is fantastic as well. The long songs are good, the short songs are good. They know how to build songs. I love the lyrics. The tempo given to them really fits the songs, and they tell the stories. They seem to fit together wonderfully as almost a complete piece. It's not a concept album, but you get the feeling like all the stories tie together somehow. The production on this I thought was fantastic. The vocals echo through to the front from the back, which is really nice. The bass is that wonderful vintage Sabbath kind of sound for mine. That cuts through in a nice and warm way, which is what you were saying about the bottom end was really cool as well. Just got an edge on it. I thought the guitar tone was fantastic, not too overdriven, like so many others of the same sort of area tend to go too far on it. The drums are back that bit, and that adds to what you're saying about them being back on the beat as well. They're back in the mix a little bit as well, which adds to the whole thing where the cymbals, they wash through to the front as opposed to being crashes through to the front. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the way he's a very unique drummer. He's very old school in that sense. Everything's got to sit in a mix perfectly. And he does it through his playing. Like, you stand next to him, it sounds like a finished record, a mixed record.
It's amazing what these guys can do on every front. I thought the vocals were blended perfectly. I would love to know who produced this. I would love to know, because this is fucking amazing production. Great as depth and space and layering. It's got the real vintage feel and sound to it, which is funny because you were saying you're not sure want to hear records like this anymore, but I love the vintage throwback to it. I thought it was genuine. Some of the hard gating on the drums was fucking well done too. Like, you don't get much of that, and it just like, whoa, hang on, that got my attention straight away. It was just incredibly clear. You could hear everything. The music flows really well. It has some fantastic peaks and troughs on the album as an overall thing. It takes you on a really engaging journey. I could never switch off from this one. Take it in on repeat listen, it's just the same thing. And it's more engaging, I think, when you do so. When you sit there and spin it back to back, I think it's more engaging. I don't normally think that 2 9-minute tracks back to back in an album is a good idea. But in this case, it fucking worked.
Yeah, I agree.
Didn't understand, but fucking well done. I'm going to disagree with you. The track Blood Moon, I thought it was fucking brilliant. I loved it.
You disagree with about 7 things.
Most likely. It's basically a 9-minute instrumental track with spoken dialogue that's going backwards with saxophone in there. It's like, what the fuck were you on when you came up with that? I want to hear what the lyrics actually are to that song.
I want some more pill testing.
Yeah, well, if you don't like the genre of stone rock, then this could well be a gateway band, I think, for a lot of people out there. It won't win everyone, but I think it'll win more than you expected to. It's another great installment from this band. If you've never checked them out, you've got to get onto them now. This is a band that's been too long between gigs on for me and too long between records on for me. I want to see them now, and damn, this is cool. I reckon what could have been a song of the year for mine was Blood Moon if we'd actually reviewed it last year. Somehow this band cuts through and I love it more. Doesn't spend more time with it. Don't make me wait another 3 years, please. 9.5 out of 10. Blood Moon, The Future Looks Clear, Rain and Silence for my standouts. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think. Southeast Desert Metal, Break the Silence, 10 tracks of 41 minutes, the second studio album for the metal band out of Central Australia, released November 2018 via the Black Wreath. Can't find the producer info on this one, unfortunately, but 2 promo tracks have been released in Rainmaker and the title track. This band's been making some serious waves over the last few years, so we're excited to finally get around to reviewing this one. Well, I was anyway. Tim?
I actually really enjoyed this album. First of all, I didn't know they were from Central Australia, so the name actually is...
Fitting.
Really fitting. That's actually pretty cool. Because when I first heard Southeast Desert Metal, I was thinking like, I don't know, Black Label Society kind of thing. Yeah, and listening to the album, it's definitely not that, but coming through, it's really good. I was getting some kind of Accident of Birth, Bruce Dickinson kind of vibes in terms of the songwriting and the song structure and just the way everything kind of moved into the next thing. The instrumental sections had that kind of a similar kind of vibe of the thing, and the way they used the half timing and subdivisions going into the choruses and out of that to break up the album and break up the songs, which was fantastic. I love the production. There was a nice bit of sandpaper on there. It was a little bit gritty and a little bit rough, without being amateurish. It was done in the right way. Everything came through. Everything sounded great. Really good album. Honestly, if you're anywhere into distorted guitars, then check this out, because it's not complex. It's not doing too many things that haven't been done before, but it's a good heavy rock album done incredibly well. Spirit Woman was my highlight. 8 out of 10.
Cool.
Fantastic record. Well done.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny you say the Zakk Wylde thing, because I thought the first minute or 30 seconds when it sounded very much like a Black Label Society Zakk Wylde thing, and then it kicks into this double kick thing, and I thought, okay, that's different.
Yep.
Again, sometimes when you just read a band name, it paints a picture, and 2 times it's happened to me, and that picture has been fucked, because it's not what I thought was going to happen. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not what I was expecting. It has some clever grooves, and some of the playing is actually very good. I thought the production was fantastic. I loved it. I just thought it was just enough production and enough to keep it real sounding. I just thought it's almost like a new metal, but with an old school writing style. The stages were all there. But the thing that did dropped off or was lacking for me was the vocals. I just didn't gravitate to the vocals. And it actually took me away. I was getting very distracted by some of the vocals, and it just wasn't for me. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I think this band has a lot of room to move, and I think they haven't hit the ice yet. They haven't even touched it. So I'm interested to see if they can stick it together and keep going and a second or third release, and I think they'll hit it out of the park. Spirit Woman, Rainmaker, Raise Our Flag, and Healer were my ones that I thought were pretty good.
Cool. The opening track starts off with the slow acoustic section, which I really wasn't expecting, because the songs I've heard before have been pretty...
The last one's been pretty heavy,
But it got my attention straight away, because it was a bit left of field. And it quickly goes seamlessly into the heavy part. These guys really know how to structure a song, and they paint a story with the lyrics. The lyrics are pretty well done. Some very cool guitar riffs, and I really like the guitar tone. Sometimes it's cool to kind of dial back a bit on the distortion. It makes everything really nice and clear. Like the diversity of themes within the album. I was expecting some serious stuff, and you get that, but there's also some more laid back and mellow stuff as well, which is cool. It's a good, diverse listen. Overall, 7.5 out of 10. I like Break the Silence, Don't Walk Away, Send Me an Angel, and Rising Storm.
Okay.
I hadn't heard these guys before either, so like these guys were saying, it was a long way from what I expected to hear. I'd obviously seen the name, I knew about them, I'd seen pictures of them, so we know they got the Indigenous guys in there, and I really had no idea what I was about to listen to. And
it's a little bit different to the previous one, but
I think after Alien Weaponry and just seeing that they were Indigenous guys, I was kind of hoping
something
I was
like
going to
that.
get a bit of that, and it wasn't there, and it's not a blind on the band, it's just... It's the old picture you paint for yourself, your expectation, and it wasn't there. Which was weird, because I think ironically it's more sort of a straight up metal, and they even get a European power metal to it, which was probably the furthest thing from what I was expecting, but it's done bloody well. lyrically, I find it's pretty powerful and pretty direct.
Yeah.
There's not much poetic going on here. They've got a message and they're going straight for it and they're telling you what they think about it, and it's done really well. They're playing, I think, next week here, and I'm really going to catch them live now on the back of this, because I've seen a couple of YouTube clips now and playing live, and they really seem to be able to smash it out. So yeah, looking forward to that one. I have just lost my words. And where'd it go? There it is. Yes. I love the cover art too.
Yeah.
So we don't talk about it enough. The cover art was really, really cool. Love it. If you like your metal, it's worth a listen. It's awesome. I give it 8 out of 10. Highlights are Raise Our Flag, Road Through Hell, Rising Storm, and Break the Silence.
Well, this is intense stuff, but not so much musically. That still has plenty of balls, but for me, the lyrics is where the intensity lay on this album. They don't pull any punches in that regard. It's very much a traditional metal band, which it might be surprising for people that Central Australia, it's like, you know, they're not normally thinking about. It's not all we connotate. From us in Melbourne, we don't think of Central Australia and traditional metal bands, but this is what this pretty much falls into for mine. But I think also that being in such an isolated spot has given this one a bit of a unique twist. I thought the drumming was fantastic on this. I thought that was really cool. The bass stands out as well. The riffs are perfect for this. The vocals are solid. I get what you're saying about they're not going to win everyone over. The vocals aren't. They're not. I think they're good. I like them, but I just think there's a genuine raw aspect to the voice which is not perfect, and it might put some people out of it a little bit. For mine, it was a bit refreshing actually. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be about more of the emotive stance on things, as opposed to how much can I hit this note and that note, whatever else have you. It just was a more real performance from mine. I thought there were some very cool solos, and the finer note choices they made within the songwriting was really cool too. It's very much a metal album composition-wise. The lyrics and the riffs go hand in hand with the vibe. The softer times have softer lyrics. The heavier stuff has the heavier lyrics. There's some very cool hooks in this though, and I love the tempo shifts they take on this record. It's not anything terribly new musically. You have heard a lot of this sort of stuff before, but lyrically is where I find they really do jump out, and I've said it a few times because it really does stand out to me. It's well-written stuff. If you like your metal, I think you need to hear this record personally. But on those lyrics, I want to make a point that I think it's intense, yet it's also enlightening.
Yeah.
It's powerful stuff being voiced that I think needs to be done more from bands today, and I'm a white guy in Melbourne. I have no idea what their lives are like. And this gives me a window into that life for them and their feelings on certain issues in the world today and stuff. And for mine, it was a little bit sort of, okay, this is a good way to express this kind of stuff. It's not jumping up and down to Facebook and banging the drum. They're actually putting it into their art, and I love the message being conveyed in that process. It's educational and empowering. And I think that it's not just an Aboriginal message. There's a lot of this stuff that translates across the board for just don't be a dickhead in general kind of stuff. I thought the production was good, nice and even, keeps it all real. It's got a good balance. It's a nice mix with the sandpaper applied to, like you were saying. It's no need for further tricks on this. Just get the band in a room, capture it, and let it go. And it suits them perfectly. It sounds great pumping out of the speakers. You turn this up, it sounds fantastic. I love the flow on the album. It's got great peaks and troughs on there. It's got a range of emotions expressed in wonderful ways, and it takes one on a journey. Plenty heavy stuff, but there's also stuff that would actually go well on radio, I thought, if it was actually given a shot to do so. It's really well balanced. If you like metal at all, get onto this one. That said, I think that anyone at all out there should give this at least just one spin to see what you think of it for yourself. It's different, it's unique in a lot of respects. I like how this one stands out due to those lyrics. The closest I've come in my experience so far is Midnight Oil, but this is more impactful than that due to the origin of the band, and I love the way that made me feel when I was listening to it. 8.5 out of 10 for me. Road Through Hell, Rainmaker, Raise Our Flag, Don't Walk Away, and Healer. My standouts. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think. John Garcia and the Band of Gold, 11 tracks for 40 minutes. The debut release under this name from the former Caius frontman. Released January 2019 by Napalm Records, produced by Chris Goss. 3 promo tracks have been released in Chicken Delight, My Everything, and Jim's Whiskers. There is talk that this could be the band's final musical work, though. Go for it.
Let's hope so.
Oh, here we go.
I didn't know it was one of the dudes out of Caius, to be honest with you, because I was never a huge Caius guy. Yeah. I just knew of them, and I had a lot of friends back in the day into that. But it does now. I understand the sound now, which better.
You didn't before?
No, well, I understood it. It's just I didn't necessarily fucking like it. Yeah, dirty style rock along the lines of a Clutch, I said, you know. It has that really energetic feel to it at times. It's straight ahead. It's just, you know, which is cool. But there wasn't a lot for me to get out of this, I'll be honest with you. I think I might have dropped a line on our page and I said how shit 2019 started for me.
Yes.
This was on the back of this and
one.
another album that we'll talk about at another time.
It gets better, I promise.
I thought the best part about it was the clean vocal.
I thought you were going to say the end then.
When he got to the end. Yeah, I thought the vocals were really different to what I was expecting. Some guy who'd smoked 12 packets of cigarettes and just a really rough sort of vocal, but it was actually refreshing to hear something very clean on top of something pretty dirty. Look, it wasn't reinventing the wheel in any way. It was okay. The production did suit the style. I thought they captured that very well. 6 out of 10. And it's probably being a little bit generous. It was hard to get through it, I'll be honest with you. Space Vado or Vito or
Vator.
Vator? Yeah, it depends on what accent you want to put onto it. Kentucky and Liliana? Liliana?
Yeah, I forget.
I don't know. That's another thing that was pissing me off. I couldn't even fucking understand the titles. It's like, how am I supposed to get into your shit?
Oh, well, Dave fucks it all up for us.
How am I supposed to get into your songs when I can't even read the fucking titles? Oh, well. Anyways.
Tim, well, I think your opinion of this album, as we can see, will largely depend on your opinion of John Garcia. Because
actually, I agree.
When I first listened to this, I thought it sounded tired. Like I really like Caius. I liked Unida. I liked Vistacino album. I liked John Garcia's. I've listened to all of his other albums, but for mine it just sounded tired, and it sounded like the same album we've heard from Garcia for 20-something years now. After listening to it the first time, though, I thought about it, and I thought, whether you like it or not, that's his sound. That stoner rock thing is John Garcia, whether it be Caius or all that. Every other band just ripped him off. Yeah. So exactly. So whether or not it's like if Black Sabbath released an album and you go, well, they're kind of ripping off. It just sounds like a traditional metal album. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like, so that's what John Garcia is, whether we like it or not. So if you like John Garcia and you like Caius, I think As a Circus Goes to Town is probably the closest for this one, or whatever the name of the album is. You know the one.
I don't want to know.
The one with 1 Inch Man on it.
What, that says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah. Trust me, if you know that song and you know that record, honestly, give this a listen because you'll love it. If I was just speaking Chinese to you, stay well away because you're going to listen to it and go, I've been hearing this stuff for 20 years and it's largely this guy's fault.
Well, you could be very disappointed with that album for more than one reason.
I'd give it a 7. I think it's really good. But as I said, it does sound tired without the rest of the context.
Yeah. Well, this is, as just been covered off, it's just the stone rock thing. It's the whole, he formed it, he started it, he's one of the founding fathers of this genre. So we get one from the masters of the genre, and you get exactly what you expect in that regard. There's a bit more to it in this. I thought there's a bit more of the classic rock overtones applied to this record. Performances are good and solid. There's a bit of flair in this as well, which is nice. It has a lot of feel and swing, which suits it all nicely. The vocals will not be to everyone's taste, I don't think. But it's more about how they're presented because there's a rawness to them. They haven't been overproduced. They're very dry when they cut through the mix and they're back a little bit as well. So I thought it's well done. Not groundbreaking, but it's all well done. They've kept that live feel, which is good. I think a lot of the stoner rock bands have gone away from the live feel a little bit over the last few years. And I'm not a big connoisseur of the genre at all, but I just feel like you get a lot of the same thing over and over again. This one actually went back to being more of a garagey kind of a feel to it, which is cool. It's just sort of classic rock meets stoner rock being done in a different way. I like the riffs. They have some energy, which sort of sets it apart for me as well. It's not the typical, like, a lot of it's gone sludgier and sludgier and slower. This one still has the energy that I would look for in an album overall. It's not a droning record, and they shit me to tears, those ones. The lyrics are well crafted, good little stories being told in there, and I thought the difference for mine on this one, while I'm not a huge Caius or John Garcia follower, I think the difference from a lot of the stoner rock in general from mine is that this was more about his emotive journey and the stories being told in the songs about what was important to him in the world today versus the whole typical fucking... You get a lot of the same shit over and over again from these bands. This one actually lyrically had some different personal touches to it. Production's what you expect. It's got the fuzzy edge going on. The vocals are back a bit, but they're actually a little bit dry, like I said before. It's a nice and real take in that regard. The guitar is back a bit behind the drums, and the bass, except for when the lead cuts through a bit further. Sonically, not my preferred style, but it is very well done. They haven't driven the balls out of it for once, which is refreshing too. Track order breaks things up nicely. Good use of tempo and groove there. You're not getting an amazing amount of diversity, but while it's not an overly long listen, those tempo shifts really do serve the purpose of breaking it up while Caesar is distracting Brendan while he's giving himself a bit of a, let's say, a groom. It's well thought out. If you start to stray a bit when you listen to it, you'll probably come back to it at the right time with the right song. If you're a fan of the man of this work, then check this out, I think, like you were saying. I would love to know, it's actually good that I've seen this too, because I don't know where this sits amongst his diehard fans. So I'm not a diehard fan. I can appreciate what he's done and all that sort of stuff, but I haven't followed his career to the nth degree. I'd like to know where people feel like this one in a month or two, when they've settled on it a little bit and go, is this really good, or if this is the end of it, it's just been done and he's flogging the horse kind of thing.
It would be interesting to see. What I would want to know is if this album was released 20 years ago, what the reaction would have been.
Okay.
Because when you listen to an old Caius record, whether you like it or not, you're getting a lot of nostalgia. And you don't have that with this record. And whether or not you judge it more harshly because of that is...
Okay. Well,
no one really knows.
Well, look forward to the comments on that side of things too from mine. I think this is predicated by taste. If you're a fan of the genre, then check it out. If you don't, this won't help you get into it.
I actually think we should not air this for 20 years.
And then go back
and then we'll do it again, and I think it'll be fine.
Okay, well, on that note...
I still hate it. But I hated all that shit anyway. So.
Yeah, well... I gave this a 7 out of 10. I picked Popcorn, My Everything, Don't Even Think About It, and Apache Junction, I think it's pronounced. Good
it's
luck
a pancake from Sweden.
Check it out for yourselves. We're moving along. Okay, time for the 2019 first edition of The Mail. And
The
a lot of
Mail.
this
This'll be
out of
good.
Christmas nonsense, on January nonsense actually, so go for it.
Oh, this is awkward.
Which one are you going to get out first?
Hard to say.
Oh, yeah, I know, you got to get it out first.
We've got one of these ones that's taped together.
Oh, fuck. Could be a good one.
Oh dear.
Here we go.
Strap yourself in, folks. This is on the back of our Nickelback review.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I've been a Nickelback fan. This is not me speaking, by the way. I'm reading. I've been a Nickelback fan since I heard this album in 2006, and I completely agree with the guy on the right. Which
That'd
is
be
you.
me.
Yeah, stage right. The album is a 10 out of 10 to me as well. There's way too many people in society, like the guy on the left, who are afraid to say anything good about Nickelback because they don't want to be ridiculed. I'm quite happy to be fucking ridiculed.
If you're on this show, you've got to be
daily.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching your video, but I hate it when people make opinions based on social acceptance. I know that's what it's really about.
Watch the show some more, you'll get disabuse of that notion.
If you want to be cool, put a hat on and cover up the receding hairline, dude.
Oh!
I used to wear a hat on stage. I should probably bring it back.
Not gonna lie, it's a good line.
Yeah.
Dude. Right, I mean, there's a song in that.
There is a song in that. Absolutely.
Not a very good song.
Yeah, that's interesting. Can we address these individually?
I reckon read it out, then go back and pick the points.
Doing something just because you want to be cool. That's what fucking Nickelback do, you wanker. Comment number 2. Nickelback, the laughing stock of the whole rock world. No rocker could take them serious, but hey, they don't care. They just keep putting out more shitty albums for the 14-year-old rocker who listens to crappy commercial rock stations, blah. Shit, did I write that?
No.
Okay.
You wish you had.
Number 3. Actually, Nickelback is a great band that makes more good rock songs. Is a great band that makes good rock songs, right? Many bands and haters, such as yourself, are jealous of their massive success. Of course,
You're damn right I am.
I'll sing Photograph all fucking night if you give me money for it. I think Nickelback fall in the category of what music critics like Rolling Stone magazine hate. They put lyrics above everything else and musicianship below everything. Oh, the band must have a hard drug addiction to receive acclaim more controversy than sales. It's an interesting point.
Not a bad point, actually, overall.
Yes, I went the hipster route and bagged a lot of their songs, mainly charting singles. But having heard their albums, they are a much better band than I thought. Perfect driving music. That pretty much covers all of our reviews. To
Just, yeah, pretty much.
And look, the fact that you're a Nickelback fan, I'm surprised you could point out left and right.
As opposed to
Good
a
point.
fucking Limp Bizkit fan.
Yeah.
Hey, I know a red hat when I see one.
Red rag to a bull, maybe?
Yes, and it can also cover receiving hairline. See, that red hats are very useful.
There you go.
Thank you for your feedback. Fuck. Some of you.
I like Nickelback. I'm not ashamed of it. How can everyone hate this band? They're a rock band that rocks. They write catchy songs. Not all of them are good. I think we covered that the singles were the weaker part of the album, but if you go and listen to the full album, there's some good stuff. We're living in a world where Imagine Dragons is considered to be a fucking rock band, and people are bagging the shit out of Nickelback. Get your fucking priorities straight.
Yeah, they both suck.
Imagine Dragons just grabbed the baton.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Probably from Coldplay, but anyway. That's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on that fucking shit pile. Jesus.
I think everybody's entitled to an opinion.
No, they're not.
Let's
We are.
call it
We're on
that.
TV.
Yeah. Our opinion matters more because we get.
Way to keep it humble, Dave.
You know. But look, you can't knock it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the sales are what they are.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that do like it, and there's a lot of people that don't like it. So you know what?
That's
Who's
always
laughing?
the case.
Yeah.
I just got one more comment.
There you go.
You're not allowed. You fucking like Limp Bizkit, man.
Hey, okay, look, first of all, yes, I am jealous of their success.
Yes.
I'm jealous of Limp Bizkit's success. As was covered on the review, I think Brendan said it, I wish I wrote Photograph. Yeah, would sing it non-stop. I'd play it non-stop. But the thing that that gets me is, where is that comment? People bagging Nickelback just to be cool.
Yeah.
They're one of the highest selling bands of all time. As crazy as that sounds, like, Nickelback are cool.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, the counterpoint to that statement you made there is that Chad Kroeger even notices how hated they are, and he actually hangs his hat on that. He thinks it's fantastic how hated they are. He thinks it's actually really awesome.
The John Cena defense, is it?
Would you rather be a band that's in the middle, or you?
But that's the difference.
The best bands in the world are the ones that have the hardcore love or hate.
Yeah.
You know, like that's.
Yeah.
So there's nothing fucking wrong with.
Either way, they
Either
made
way.
you feel something. You hear you hear the songs, you hear the band, and you go, fuck, I hate it, or fuck, I love it. Either way, they made you feel something, which is a lot better than a lot of the shit that gets played on radio, generally speaking.
Man, some of the spelling on these YouTube comments.
Hey, I did copy and paste. This is not my writing.
Well,
You know, if they are one of the biggest selling bands in the world, and if everybody fucking hates them, the people that are being cool in society and saying, I hate this band, they're probably closet fans.
yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Well, if they're the biggest
Is there
selling
a logic stream there somewhere?
And I wonder if the same logic applies to Limp Bizkit.
Somebody's buying their
would.
music.
Like, I have to say,
Dickheads.
but, like,
There's a lot of dickheads in the world.
saying
I'm a
they hate them.
dickhead.
yes, we've got 5 of them right here. Yeah. Managed to get them all in a row.
I am some Nickelback.
I had to buy an album because Nicky made me.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I like
did Nicky
Nickelback.
make
I've
you
said
do?
before that I go into bat for him, but
Yeah.
but at the same time, I did the Limp Bizkit one, and I ripped the shit out of that. But at the same time, you got me when you said that, you know, I said that if they were shit songs, they wouldn't cut through. With the Nickelback one, you've gone Limp Bizkit cut through, and you've gone, well, I actually can't defeat that point.
No.
You own that point, and that's the truth. Like, there are either good songs or not, and it's all predicated by taste, and that's not a big deal at the end of the day. We're all so fucking caught up in who fucking's better than what, and we're all getting offended or whatever else. It's a bit of fun. We do this for the fucking fun of it, and we deliberately picked albums that we knew. Like, I knew that album was going to drive you up the fucking wall, and you know what? That's the part of that review I love the most.
But I gave it 5. Like,
But it
didn't put it in the bin.
grinds your gears to have to listen to it, and that's why I
Yeah,
did
it did. It did.
That's
loved
why
it.
I did it. I liked it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I knew that some people would like it, but I knew that some people would hate
I've
it.
forgotten how
And
good
that
it was
the
because I hadn't
reaction.
actually
all
listened
the
to
same.
it.
And that's where it's
Back.
funny that, like, someone said in the Facebook comments as the episode went there, like, 10 out of 10, is that guy serious? To which I replied, yes, I am. And I still stand by that because I think it's as far as you can hate the music, but the way it was put together for mine was a fucking complete product. I thought it was still a great product. And not all of their songs and albums are that as good as this one either, by the way. They put out some shocking stuff. But
after that, yeah.
after this one, yeah. But this one I thought was good. Limp Bizkit, not so much. We'll get to that in another episode of The Mail coming up very soon. But now we're going to move along. That's it for another week at the Hard Rock Show. Thank you all for tuning in and subscribing to us via YouTube as well, which is very important to us. Details at the bottom of the screen to do just that. And also make sure you're following us on all of our other various social media channels to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and fucking who knows what. Dave's actually building a new website for us.
I am.
Too, which is
I'm
cool.
trying.
And we all... Huh?
It looked like Homer's website when he got a computer.
Oh, that'd be cool. Please, can we get like a logo at the top which has the dipping bird thing going on?
He's going back for more.
Dave's got skills.
Like the Mr. X.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check that out. We'll let you know when it's announced because that's going to be obviously very classy, just like us here. We also have Patreon if you'd like to try and help us get better at our shit. We need I'm working on this show full time now, so we need help to keep it funded. We have sponsor packs out there to help us out too. We also have...
THRS Radio, Andrew, the station you want to listen to even if you don't want to.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
weirdly.
that makes sense.
Also, don't forget to come out and see us whole love once a month, where we do our shit live in front of people. Believe it or not, where you can actually, we should really get that chicken wire fence one day. I reckon we're going to need it.
Getting close.
If any Michael Sweet fans turn up, we're going to need some security.
We're not going to be doing any more Stripe reviews anytime soon. The public guy, anyway.
Michael Sweet's got an actual solo album due out.
Oh, I know.
Here we go. Let's save that one for public eye.
Speaking of the bin,
Yes, it's time to go to the bin, so let's get it on. What have you got for us this week?
jeez, I could wax lyrical about this for half an hour, but I won't. The Gillette commercial. Not the commercial itself, just the bullshit surrounding it. It's got to go firmly in the bin. Anyone that hasn't heard about the controversy, it's supposed to be demonising men and for the evil that we all are, every single one of us apparently.
Oh my god.
For those that have seen the commercial, it's a pretty bloody good commercial. You know, it's quite
Does its job.
It's quite well presented, and
Everyone's talking about it.
Everyone's talking about it, and I just think this is the best bit of marketing genius that any company has ever pulled off.
Maybe except for Steel Panther.
No, this is better. Hats off to you, Gillette, because you made a non-controversial ad, paid someone to tell everyone it was fucking controversial, then spun this bullshit so people would watch it 16 million times in 48 hours on YouTube. I tip my hat to you. That was brilliant bit of marketing to make that happen. It's a very good commercial, and anyone that is actually triggered by it, the commercial has a message of don't be an asshole. If that bothers you, maybe you're an asshole.
You don't agree with that?
What an arsehole.
This week, I'm going to put in the bin parents who teach their kids to hate. Whether it's whatever the hell. Fucking hell. Kids can listen to Nickelback if they want. But
No, they can't.
parents are constantly, whatever their fucking prejudices are, whatever happens to them in their life, it's not your kid's burden to carry on. So let your kids
Same applies to religion, folks.
Yeah, just let your kids be kids. You see kids in the playground, they're playing with other kids. Doesn't matter what race, gender, anything else that goes on. Kids are just kids. Don't fuck them up because of your past.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Well done.
Good one.
Politicians sending text messages. In particular, Clive Palmer and his party. I've
It's funny,
gotten two or
Johnny's getting
three.
it, I'm not.
I've gotten like two now from
I
him.
got two.
I got
What right did you have to fucking do this? You
Especially
know?
when he says he's going to repeal the law that allows him to do it.
Well, that's you know. You're on TV. You must be spending a lot of money because those commercials are coming on quite frequently.
No, yep. But he's rich. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
Money to
that's-
burn. Literally.
But do not text me. It does not help your cause. You know, even these guys text me something stupid. I read it quickly and not even respond. All right, so
I'm the worst.
and I don't mind these guys most of the time. You, on the other hand, you know, you need to fuck off. No one cares about your message because your message is really diluted and fucking stupid for the majority, and it actually insults the average Australian. So you texting people about your shit that you want to change, that you're actually doing it through a text, is actually really, really, really fucking dumb.
And we are
Alright.
very average Australians.
Let's be honest.
We're below. All right, poverty stricken almost. Yeah, I just don't like that shit. That's very...
He'll start sending out those text messages for a good time. Call Clive.
While he can.
With a picture of Dee Snider.
So we're just in Parker.
We're not gonna.
Yes, you are, bitch.
Oh, fuck. Here we go. Move on quickly.
Well, almost. So this is a bit of international news. The former chair of the Donald Trump campaign is being currently indicted.
Yes.
Michael Cohen is some interesting things to come out, particularly paying an advertising company to rig the fake news polls on the websites just to click yes and things like that, and then paying him what was supposed to be $50,000, instead paying him $10,000, and with a boxing glove from a Brazilian UFC fighter.
That's worth 40 grand.
An unnamed Brazilian UFC fighter and a boxing glove. UFC fighters don't use boxing gloves. But the reason why I'm throwing this guy in the bin, he also paid an advertising company to create a fake Twitter account idolizing him as a sex symbol.
What?
Well, if you got money...
Who hasn't done that?
If you got a few bucks to spend, why not?
What'd you get? One like.
I kid you not. I know this sounds like a fake. I know this sounds like a fake story.
If you read the red
This
hat,
actually happened, people.
7 likes.
This
instantly like
motherfucker
that.
can get straight in the bin.
True.
What the actual fuck is that? Alright.
He also spent 50 grand on an ostrich jacket.
If you've got 50 grand, fucking pay me to do this for a year, you
This
prick.
guy had he's going to prison for treason and conspiracy.
It's okay, Timothy.
And he spent it on an ostrich jacket.
See my vest. See my vest. See my vest.
Only in America.
And pretty much, where's Don King when you need him? Now, I agree with everything said so far. However, my bin for this week is violence in general.
Yeah.
Can we fuck it off? I don't care if it's men on women, women on men. I don't care what your fucking take on the whole goddamn argument about domestic violence is. Can we just fuck it off?
Yeah.
We had another young kid, die on the way home from a fucking event recently, which they've caught someone apparently, and hopefully it goes through the courts and stuff as it should. But just fucking, if you want to hurt someone, just go hurt yourself.
Yep.
I would much rather that. Like, it's pointless hurting other people. Like, what the fuck? Just, no. It's fucking the rest of the world up for all of us. And we've got young people out there that are already afraid enough as it is. Stop it, fuckheads. It's enough. Really enough.
Yep.
Anyway, seeing as we always finish with me on the bin and it's always a happy note, time to wrap it up. See my best. See my best. Anyway, thank you for watching. We're back in with more jolly good times next week. And more, I'm sure, outtakes of
Banter.
British humour.
That's the best
Got
stuff.
plenty of those. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next week, I'm Andrew.
Tim?
Mick.
Dave,
Brendan.
yeah.
As always,
Drink up.
Rock on.
Love you.
Don't send unsolicited text messages.
Yeah.
Send nudes instead, Clive.
Oh, no, don't say
what?
It was going so well.
It was. And then he had to go and fuck it up. I think this is predicated by taste. If you're a fan of the genre, then check it out. If you don't, this won't help you get into it.
I actually think we should not air this for 20 years.
And then go back
And then yeah, we'll do it again, and I think it'll be fine.
Okay, well, on that note...
I still hate it. But I hated all that shit anyway. So.
Yeah, well, I gave this a 7 out of 10. I picked Popcorn, my everything, don't even think about it, and Apache Junction, I think it's pronounced. Good
It's a
luck with that.
pancake from Sweden.
Check it out for yourselves. We're moving along.
You could almost call it
a bookcase for my kid?
Southeast Desert Pancake.
Oh yeah.
I quite like.